As I've said previously, my name's James McPherson. I'm the Chief Technical Officer at Voice Technologies. The discussion and demonstration is going to be around speech recognition. This is a complicated slide. But it's really just to demonstrate the scalability of the 360 speech platform and how it can be used. It can be hosted in your own infrastructure. It can also be hosted in a data center or in a cloud location. It can be used on a Windows desktop. It can be used in browsers. It can be used on an Apple iOS device and also on an Android tablet device. One example of using the speech platform is Dragon Medical 360. It's a click once application for the techie people. So basically it's easy to deploy, it doesn't take long to install on a PC, and it's really simple to support. It uses the speech magic engine at its heart, and it can be used to dictate into multiple applications. It's enterprise-wide scalability, and it can work in a hosted environment in Citrix and also in virtual desktop modes. It allows a process of what I would call an indirect integration. So basically, if you have an application that has keyboard shortcuts, these can be mapped to voice commands, allowing users to dictate options and control applications without any direct development. And I'll demonstrate that as part of a process in a minute. You can dictate into different templates if you have them set up on the system. And you can dictate into multiple clinical applications on the same PC. So if you have 3 different clinical systems that you use on a daily basis, Dragon Medical can be used throughout them all. What I'm going to do now is start the system up. So a login screen will be displayed. So Dragon Medical is basically a speech bar. I can move this to wherever I want on the screen. When I press record, the text will go to wherever the cursor is in my system. So if I'm in Word and the cursor is in Word and I start to dictate, words will appear. If I'm in a clinical system and I start to dictate, the words will appear in the clinical system. It is possible to anchor the speech into a specific application. So if you are clicking between applications, you can focus it on one so that the text will always go there. I'm going to demonstrate dictating into 2 applications. So I'm just going to start up Word here and dictate into a blank document. I saw this patient in clinic today, full stop. The patient complained of lower back pain, full stop. The patient has severe asthma and pneumonia, full stop. It's also possible, similar to the OneVoice Pro demonstration, to insert auto text or standard paragraphs. New paragraph. Insert standard report. So this is just some sample text that can be built up in a report. What I've loaded this time is an info path form. Some of you may use these types of forms already within your day-to-day working practices. But this is to show you an example of an indirect integration. So these 2 applications are completely separate from each other. But if I record some dictation, lower abdominal pain, full stop, next control, 65-year-old male, full stop. So in this example, I've been able to navigate between boxes in a form without actually the systems being integrated. It's also possible to integrate keyboard shortcuts, as I mentioned previously. So if I go into my commands, I've got a command urgent report to tick the urgent report box, and I've also got a command to print a report. Urgent report, print report. So this is process improvements that can be applied to entering data into a form. The user doesn't need to stop recording to use the mouse and click or input data on the screen. They can simply use commands to navigate and control. So that's an example of using speech from a single application into multiple different applications.